Hi friends, welcome to Trendrider channel supported by Ringa.co.in. Today we are going to do the technical analysis for Voltas. Voltas is a very popular company, and what you are watching right now is a weekly technical chart of Voltas, and these are all the technical indicators have been deployed on this chart, and this is the trend profile of the Voltas so far, and these are all the indicators that are deployed on this stock to do the technical analysis. Now, in the recent downtown of stock market, we have to see all the stocks from a different perspective. For this analysis, I started using a baseline chart, which is this kind of thing. Actually, you can see the uh, coloring of the chart. Actually, this is not like a candle chart. Okay, this is a different chart altogether, and very easy for non-technical guys, people who are new to this technical analysis, to understand where their particular stock, for example, if they had bought Voltas, then they can easily understand just by looking at the chart itself, without even looking at the technical indicators, without even if they don't have the knowledge of technical indicators, they can just by looking at the chart, they can easily understand uh, what is the status of the particular stock. For example, here Voltas right now, if you see this one, this is the baseline. Okay, and this baseline we can adjust, but I am taking the default baseline. Okay, the default baseline right now stands at 265. Okay, so but the stock price at the moment is at 613. Okay, the stock is today is what, today is 21st March, and today the stock is trading at 613. Okay, and actually it is in the rising trend. You can clearly see this one, this black line, right? This is the zigzag indicator, which is clearly showing that which is showing the trend line right now. So the trend is moving in the upward direction. You can clearly see that, right? Okay, now this is a weekly chart, but for long term understanding, I mean for long term analysis, we need to look at a weekly chart, and before that we need to, we need to focus on the day chart also. So I'm taking you to the day chart, and this is the day chart of Voltas. And in the day chart, if you see the trend right now, currently this particular stock is going down. Okay, if you see the trend, see, trend is your friend in stock market. So we need to go by the trend. So trend is sometimes, no matter how much analysis you do, based on the market, based on other external factors and other things, the trend changes. So we have to always follow and chase the trend. That is very, very important. So now in the day chart, we are clearly seeing that the price of Voltas is going down. Okay, earlier it was trading at 638, and then it was trading in 14th March. Okay, 14th March it was at 638, and today 21st March, in the last 7-8 days, the price has come down. But it looks like a temporary thing. You see, the super trend, actually right now the stock is under the influence of positive super trend, and in the positive super trend phase, the stock price is coming down. But there is a baseline. Beyond a certain point, the stock won't go down and hit the baseline here. Okay, that means this super trend here, you see the line here, these three lines, right? So these three lines give the support for this trend. That means even if the stock falls down, if the downward trend continues, maximum the stock may hit 590. Okay, and it won't go beyond 590. So that is for sure. Okay, so what may happen is like this: the stock may come down. If at all the downtrend continues, the stock may come down, and it may hit the 590 levels, and again it will bounce back. Okay, that is there. So this particular super trend shows, gives us that sort of idea. So this is we can take this particular thing as a baseline at this moment. So 590 is the point where you can get a hell lot of support for this particular stock. So if you are waiting, people who are waiting to buy the stock, then they can wait for a few more days, and and take and see to it that once the stock comes down to 590 levels, then that is the right time for them to enter the stock. And then after once the stock bounces back, and then they can reap the profits. So this is the analysis data. I mean, for the day chart. But in the long term, if you are people who are looking for the long term, we are taking them to the weekly chart, and then we are clearly seeing that the trend is moving in upward direction. So people who had missed the bus here at this point at 568 level or 572 level, I mean, invest. I mean, enter this particular stock, and as long as this trend moves in the upward direction, there is a huge guarantee that the stock will the stock price of the stock will move in the upward direction. So overall, if you see the overall trend of the chart, overall trend of the Voltas stock at this moment, though the market is in is going down, but still when it comes to Voltas, the future is good. I mean, the movement of the price of the stock is good. It is moving in the upward direction, and the trend is also nice. And this stock can be considered for long term. Okay, guys. So this is the analysis. This is the thing. So if you like this video, please like this channel and like this video. Thank you. Hi friends, welcome to Trendrider channel, supported by Uringa.co.in. Today we are going to do the technical analysis for Voltas. What you are watching is a technical chart of Voltas, and these are all the technical indicators depending on the stock to do the technical analysis. Now there is a slight modification I did when it comes to the baseline chart. Earlier I was using candles and all the stuff. Now I changed the chart. This is a baseline chart. What you are watching right now is the baseline chart, and I did this change consciously. Why? Because this particular chart, as per my experience, I mean, I have seen that people who are new to technical analysis and who are unable to understand the technical indicator movements and all the stuff like that, even those people can understand this baseline chart very easily and very quickly also. So when it comes to this particular Voltas, if you see what I mean, you can clearly see that the status of the stock, where the how the trend of the stock is, where the trend of the stock is going. For example, the black line here, it represents the trend, and now if you see, it is very clear for even for a novice, like the trend of the stock is moving in the upward direction. Simple thing. Irrespective of whatever the chart, just by whatever is the time frame, just by looking at the chart, you can clearly see in the initial in a quick glance, you can easily understand that in which way the stock is moving. For example, if the stock, for example, if the chart is somewhere here, for example, we see this red line here. So there is a baseline. This line, this divider is called the dotted line is called the baseline. And here, normally in this chart we can easily move based on our customization, customized setting. We can move this baseline, and we can create a new baseline. But I am taking here the default, whatever the chart has. When we are initiated the chart, that time whatever by default baseline has come. Baseline was given. This I am using the same baseline. I didn't modify the baseline. Okay. Now, if the price goes down the baseline, then this chart displays in this color format. For example, here it is showing in a red format, right? Red color. So it is a negative. So that means if the baseline, if you see the baseline, what is the baseline here? 267. 267. This chart has identified 267 as a baseline for this particular stock, looking at the long term trend from the weekly time frame point of view. So now the stock is trading at 613 rupees. Today the stock is trading at 613, whereas the baseline is at 270. Okay. Now if the stock goes down, goes below 270, then it shows in the red color. Okay, which you can clearly see that okay, this is a you can easily identify in the initial glance itself that okay, this is the right time. This the stock is hitting the bottom, and this is the right time for you to buy. And because once tomorrow, once the stock moves up, then you are at you are at an advantageous position to make huge profits. So that is the reason I took this map, I took this chart, and from here onwards I am going to use this baseline chart only for my further analysis of different stocks. Okay, and I mean, besides this particular chart, I started using other technical indicators, but the main technical indicators, like which are very popular technical indicators like RSI and stochastics, I just kept them so that we can easily tell people that I mean, whoever is interested to enter the stock, so whether this is the right time to enter or they have to wait for some time and then they can enter and all the stuff like that. So this is the understanding behind using all these technical indicators. Now coming to the stock. So how Voltas is faring. So in the initial glance itself, we are using the, I mean, as per the weekly time frame, the trend is moving in the upward direction. You can clearly see this black line, right? The black line is moving in the upward direction. So it is very clear. It is very clear and very easy to understand that the stock is moving in the upward direction, and this is the right time. When people who have not invested so far, this is the right time for them to invest. And this is one particular thing. Okay, in the long term, the stock is in a good position. That's what I can say. Now, if for people who wants to enter the stock at this moment, for them I am going to the day time frame. Okay, so in the day time frame, what you're seeing is a different chart. Okay, for the same stock, you're seeing a different chart. Now, if you look at again the black line, the trend line, the black line stands for the trend. Okay, now if you look at the trend, then the trend is going in the downward direction. And people who know I mean about this technical indicators, they can clearly see that this is a super trend indicator I am using, and this is a positive super trend. The stock right now in the day frame is undergoing the positive super trend phase, but still the trend of the stock is moving in the downward direction. How down, at what level, up to what level it will go down? If that is a question, for that I can say that the stock may hit 590 levels. Okay, the stock may go down up to 590. There is a chance, if at all the stock goes down, keep going down further, then it may hit the 590 level, and after that there is a huge possibility that it will bounce back. That means after hitting 590, it may go down, it may go up, and again towards 600, 605, 610, like that. So that is the probability I can say at the moment. And now this is from the data, from day chart point of view, though the long term trend is in a good position, but from the day chart point for the entry, this particular this is not the right time for new investors to enter this particular stock. Why? Because there is a huge possibility that the stock, the price of the stock may go down further. So that we can clearly see even in this RSI, the movement of the RSI and stochastics also. Now we can clearly see the stochastics, the red line is on top of the black line. It's a very clear signal that right now the stock is undergoing a downward price movement, and until this particular thing, this phase changes, that means the black line has to be on top of the red line. So until that particular thing comes, there is no point that the stock will move in the upward direction. So from the stochastics point I am telling, and even if you look at the RSI is just playing below the half of the baseline. That means if you take 20 and 80 are the extreme ends, and if you take then 50 is the midway, and the stock is playing just below the midline. Okay, the 50 line, it is somewhat around 47.32. That means it is not even playing above the midline. Okay, then we cannot at this moment the stock is not in aggressive mode, or in a are going in a positive direction. That we can clearly see. Even these indicators are in sync with the trend that is showing here. So now this is not the right time, but overall trend is good. So we are going to revisit the stock after 1 week, and we can at the time, if we will again revisit this day chart, and we'll see whether the time has come for the entry or not, or the stock still may go down, or it will show some reversal, trend reversal, then this at that moment we can recommend the stock for long term investment, I mean for entry or not. But overall the stock can be considered for long term investment. So that is the conclusion at this moment. Okay, so keep following this particular stock. This is a very good stock, and it has been going up in the long term since when? Actually, you can clearly see that since February, for the past 1 year, this stock has been continuously moving in upward direction. That you can clearly see. There is a small downside, but again, it resumed its previous journey, and it is moving in upward direction. So, guys, this is the analysis for this moment for this particular stock. We will review the stock later after a few days, and that time we will I will tell that know whether the time has come for to enter the stock or not. So until then, if you like this analysis, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.